Hey everyone, welcome to Monday Minutes. I'm Pastor Drew, filling in for Pastor Doug. Hey, I want to get right into it today and ask you a question. How many of you have ever lost sleep over something that never happened? I remember Pastor Doug asked me to preach on a Sunday, and so I said yes, and I did everything I needed to do, but that Saturday night, I'm sitting there laying in my bed and my mind is running wild with all the possible disaster scenarios. Like, what if I trip up on the stage? What if I forget my notes? What if nobody likes the message? What if I never get asked to preach again? I laid there and I just stared at the ceiling with my heart failing and my mind spinning. And then the next day, guess what happened? Nothing. The message went great, no disasters, no embarrassment, just a normal service. But my worry, it stole my peace, it stole my rest, and it stole my confidence. Does this sound familiar? See, we live in an anxious world where from school or from work stress to friendships to financial situations, from fear of the unknown, it seems like anxiety just wants to hang around, whispering worst case scenarios like that keeps us up all night. And it drains all of our joy. For many of us, the question isn't, do I have anxiety? The question is how do I stop anxiety from having me? And that's where we're going to land today. In Philippians 4, 6 through 7, it says this. It says, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your mind in Christ Jesus. Hey gang, this isn't just some feel-good Bible verse. This is a battle plan that Paul is showing us how to fight anxiety and to live in peace. So I want to break it down in 3 truths today about going from panic to peace and overcoming anxiety. Truth number 1 is this: worry is a signal, not a weakness. Anxiety isn't weakness, it's a signal, just like your check engine light. Anybody have your check engine light car come on? Well, what it's there for is to alert us that something needs attention. But here's the mistake. Instead of us taking it to God or instead of us taking it to the mechanic, we try to take it on all ourselves. But Paul says, do not be anxious about anything. This doesn't mean that you'll never feel anxious. It just means don't let anxiety take control. Instead, redirect it in prayer. If it's big enough to worry about, it's big enough to pray about. Imagine holding a glass of water. You know, it's pretty light at first, but if you hold it for 5 minutes, then 10 minutes, then for an hour, then for a day, then for a year, it gets really heavy and it feels unbearable. That's how anxiety works. The longer you hold it, the heavier it gets. So what if instead of carrying your worry, you give it over to God? Truth number 2 is gratitude changes the game. Paul says by prayer and petition with thanksgiving. Why thanksgiving? Because gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have. It reminds us that if God was faithful before, He's going to be faithful again. Think about a GPS tracker. You know, when you get turned around, it helps us to guide you back to the right path. Gratitude's like that. It recalibrates our perspective, steering us from fear to faith. So when anxiety hits, instead of just listing all your worries, maybe list 3 things that you're thankful for and watch your mindset shift. And the last truth is this: God's peace guards your heart. Paul promises that the peace of God, which transcends all our understanding or all our thinking, will guard your hearts and your minds. Notice he doesn't say God will fix everything instantly. He says it will guard your peace. So picture a security guard standing at the door. His job is to protect and keep danger out. That's what God's peace does. It stands and guards over our hearts and keeps anxiety from barging in. So peace isn't found in perfect circumstances. It's found in trusting the one who is in control. So what I want to say today is, what if we just stop letting anxiety control us and start using it as a reminder to turn to God? What if instead of being anxious about everything, we learn to be anxious for nothing? And tonight, as you lay in your bed, instead of rehearsing your fears, try something different. Hand it over to God. He's got this. And maybe, just maybe, you'll sleep in peace and not panic. All right, have an amazing day, guys. We'll talk to you later.